Yo, this shit just came out. Twice Strategy featuring Megan Thee Stallion. I haven't been active in the music industry in a minute, so I've heard all these Megan Thee Stallion songs because they everywhere, but I'm not like a lore master on her or anything. And same with Twice. I've definitely heard of Twice before. I might have heard some songs by Twice, but I'm not sure which ones. In fact, I'm not even sure if Twice is a person or a group or an android or a UFO. I love to see these type collabs because all my hip hop heads, you know that hip hop was a voice for Black and Puerto Rican youth in New York City, which exemplified unity with the rest of New York City. Caribbeans, Africans, Jews, everybody partied under one groove when it came to hip hop. But hip hop didn't pop out of nowhere. It was a reflection of the sounds that those youth grew up on and that was available to them. Caribbean influences, Chinese influences, the music that their parents listened to. I'm thinking about Crazy Legs, taking a lot of inspiration with his breakdancing moves from martial arts films, how there was very little media like films and whatnot that the minorities of America could relate to, but they could see these martial arts films from across the world, see the brotherhood, the violence when necessary, the different philosophical approaches to life. Meanwhile, nations like Korea were in the third world phase. They probably didn't discover fire until like 20 years ago. They hear this shit going on in America. A lot of it inspired from their continent. And now they're getting inspired, and it's just this cycle. It's beautiful cultural building, and hip hop is just one of those things. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Now, I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion is a real hip hop artist, or is she just a rap artist? Twice, I don't know what kind of music in particular that she does, because I don't remember which K-pop songs that I've heard was done by her or them or they or whatever. But that was my first thoughts anyway. Just expressing a little gratitude for the situation in general, because Thanksgiving was fairly recent. I've been a little slow on content the last couple of weeks. I had a loved one who was dealing with some really dark thoughts, and I just needed to stay by his or her side, keep an eye on them, you know what I mean? But it's good to be listening to the new music. This is cool. So this is a Twice song, and Megan's got the feature. Very dope. That means the song is probably going to be on the Twice album. Probably won't be on the Megan album. And Twice might have had to break bread to get Megan on it, unless Megan just felt like doing her a favor or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to try to just listen to it the first time with minimal interruptions. Then I'm going to share my thoughts after the fact.
It's Megan Thee Stallion.
So it's a group.
And you watch it bounce right back. He really lost it when he saw me do the right left. I'm a man eater, you were just a light snack. I got him pressed like he working on his triceps. I'm a flirt, I'm a tease. to me. Told him, baby, what's the player to the G, A and me? Saying need the word about him bringing me to the beat. Jealous who? Girl, please. Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy. Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy. Strategy, like grabby beat. One, look at me. I betcha, boy. You be down on your knees, calling me out, making me
okay.
my strategy, will getcha, boy. Hey boy, I'ma getcha real good and I betcha. Hey boy, once I getcha, you'll be all so glad that I met you. Hey boy, I'ma getcha, yeah. Real good and I betcha. Hey boy, you'll be all so glad that I met you. Hey boy, I'ma getcha real good and I betcha.
Gonna end with Megan. Yeah. Yeah, this was a pretty cool, good mainstream joint for sure. Very polished. Megan brought her usual swagger that I'm used to seeing. And one thing about that is there are cycles and preferences and trends in any industry, and I imagine any art form. When it comes to music production, you think about like the 2010s, music production and engineering was very clean. We wanted things to be matte polished. That's when I was active. I'm not active now, but from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, you get more tracks that are intentionally less polished. They sound a little bit more like dirty as a stylistic choice. So you might see some frequencies that step on each other's toes just a little bit. And I think you will also hear, I feel like that more dirty style has been more dominant in the last decade. I think like today, it's a little bit of a mix. It kind of depends on what the artist or the whoever's in charge, the producer, whatever, the exec producer, I mean, like what they're looking for. With K-pop music, I feel like one of the hallmarks from what I'm hearing so far, and I've only been kind of actively listening to them for like a little less than a year, it's always very polished in terms of the production. And I think if you're coming from what used to be like a very secondary market and what wasn't too long ago a second world nation, if you're trying to jump on the global scene and you take the more less polished approach, it's going to be a lot harder. People are going to think that it's not a stylistic choice, but rather you're just not good enough yet. So I think as a result, Korea is just one of those places where you have to be as perfect as possible just to have half the chance as some other people. But anyway, with that being said, I also feel like all the Megan songs that I've heard has been pretty polished as far as the production style. And another obvious thing is when you see a collab like this or any kind of collab, you're trying to introduce one's fan base to the other and vice versa. And both sides probably be interested in getting that international money, respectively. It's always been like that. I remember a Jay-Z verse where he's talking about making Japan yen in 10 major events or whatever he said. It's kind of like a pelt on the wall, like a little milestone. But the song though, let me hear that again. So they opened with the editorial and they ended with it. Cool. The accents are cute. The beat's real like glossy. I don't really know what that means. You basically get two kinds of people in the music industry. You'll get the ones that are like actually classically trained in some field. Could be classically as in classical or maybe the jazz route. You know all the proper terms. And then you got people who know what's being described, but they don't know the exact term for it. So they might just use some other random ass adjectives. I'm kind of a bum because I'm in the second category where I don't use the technical terms because I don't know them, but I have been trained. So I think it just shows that I don't pay attention too much when I was younger. Obviously, they came in with the synths, but the synths are like very retro sounding. Synthesizers probably always sound retro to some extent, but the exact sound choice on this synth is, I think, is very trying to capture a retro vibe. And I'm taking this as at least a fairly good example of what the Twice sound is. Because if it was going to be more like rap shit, It would have had me guessing a little bit. Is that more the Megan sound or is that more the Twice sound? Is that something in between? I haven't listened to all of Megan's shit, but I don't think I've heard her on something like this. So I'm assuming that would mean this is more the Twice sound and that they just did a really good job synergizing Megan's energy with Twice in this type beat.
Baby, even my shadow looks good, right?
Even my shadow looks good, right? I like that. A lot of fun, memorable lyrics, which leads me to believe that they had a songwriter on this. That kind of thing is like a songwriter's specialty, which makes me wonder, did Megan write her own shit here? I think I might have asked that before a couple times, and every time people have said Megan does write her own shit, which I love. I mean, she's not like the most lyrical genius in the world, but you could tell that she has witty thoughts, she has witty lines, she raps fun, and like when hip hop first jumped off, it was about partying, creative expression, and having a voice and all that. But the end result was always the park jams, the parties. And it wasn't until a little bit later, just a couple years or so, when you got more of that storytelling and that whole I got something to say kind of approach. And from everything I've heard from Megan, she makes like that fun party type music, but the shit she says is still like witty, you know what I mean? Which I really appreciate. Yeah, they got the classic main vocalist is panned down the middle, all the background is on the left and the right in the spatial field. And if you hear any other sounds down the middle, it's always in a different frequency than what frequency the main vocalist is in. Like that synth right there. Whatever type synth you would call that, that's in the same pocket frequency wise as the human voice. So if they put that down the middle or wherever the vocals are, it's going to sound like too muddy. It's going to sound like a freaking mess because they're occupying the same space. But they had it panned left and right a little bit more wide, and they had the vocals panned in between and in the middle and around it. So it still sounded clean. You want some level of clarity, unless you're the Wu-Tang Clan. You want some level of clarity in your production style. And it could be through frequencies. It could be through where you put it in the spatial field, how you organize it dynamically. So if you're like me and you produced, you engineered, or you're trying to, you are cursed. You cannot just hear a song regular. You are always like, you just can't help it. Your brain is just going to be hearing shit, analyzing shit, and I don't know how to make it stop. If you know how to make it stop, please tell me, please help. And you can't forget, you're feeling yeah, that's kind of funny because this shot right here, but she's just walking on a treadmill. That was goofy. I like that. It's a cool little music video, but it looks like a lot of fucking thought investment went into it. Yo, she is concentrating like a mug. That's what I look like when I'm playing Overwatch. What was that effect? Oh, I thought I put an effect on the voice, but I think they just layered the voice with like a cool affected like synth or whatever. And what I mentioned earlier with you want some clarity, everything to live in its own space. The main exception is when you're layering like that, when you kind of make it sound like you want it to blend like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? Her face is the one I recognize, I think. I didn't know what group she was from or if she was a solo or whatever, but this is the face I recognize for sure. And you watch it bounce right back. He really lost it when he saw me do the right left. I'm a man eater, you were just a light snack. I got him pressed like. I like how she ended all those bars with that little vocal break. That you know, it was fun. It adds a little swagger to it. I feel like when I see K-pop artists in the studio, the producers in there making sure that everything's on point as far as the direction. If Megan is anything like the studios I've been in here in the States with rap music, a lot of that creative freedom is up to the artist themselves. So it makes me wonder, did they give mad direction to Megan for her verse like they might have for the members of Twice? Or did they just sort of let her do her thing and just kind of make it work? because the song is Twice's song. Megan's the feature. So I could see a world where the producer, who's probably giving a specific direction to the members of Twice, kind of wanting to do the same for Megan. But I can also see Megan being like, you know, I'm a superstar. I know what I'm doing, et cetera, you know, respectfully. Question in my head. And you know this is touched up. Nobody's eyes is that clean white like that.
He working on his triceps. I'm a flirt, I'm a tease. They be hurt after me. Told him, baby, what's the player to the G-A-M-E? Saying ain't the word about him bringing me to the beach.
When you a feature, sometimes artists, well, a lot of times, you're going to be saving your best bars for your shit. And when you're doing a feature, you want to represent, like you definitely want to represent yourself and your team and all that. But if you really had a choice, like you wouldn't really want to give your best like secret bars that you've been saving for a feature. Maybe if you're like an up and comer and you got a feature with a huge artist and you're trying to establish yourself, make a good impression. But sometimes I hear features and the verse is so like, dang, like you could have came a little harder than that, a little bit. Like you could really tell that somebody is saving their best bars. But in this one, I felt like it was a good balance. I'm not like a Megan Thee Stallion verse historian type shit. So I don't really know how lyrical exactly she'd be getting all the time. But to me right now, off the cuff, it just sounds like she gave some pretty good bars, some witty bars and all that. So basically she ain't shortchanging. Especially if you're the Twice team and you broke bread to Megan to get, maybe you gave her $500,000 for the feature. And if she came with some boo-boo bars, that'd be a bad look, right?
Girl, please. Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy. Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy.
It's cool that they all together. She makes these girls look tiny though. Talking about Megan. And I don't think that's because she's big.
Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy. Strategy, like gravity. One, look at me. I betcha, boy. You be down on your knees, calling me.
Yeah, the breakdown here, I thought that was fun. I really like that they did this breakdown. That percussion section is so low relative to what my brain wanted it to be. And they reverbed the shit out of it, of course. But obviously that's just like a stylistic preference. I don't mean it's good or bad or whatever. But I like that they did it.
Yeah, making me don't leave my strategy will getcha.
This is basically where Genuine would start popping and locking, and Timbaland would just be in the back, beatboxing to it.
Boy, I'ma getcha real good and I betcha.
Cool. I like the way they ended that with that mini little acapella section. And with just the voice on its own, you could kind of hear the bite and the growl of the compressor they were using on her voice.
I'ma getcha real good.
Compression almost sounds like they used a touch of compression from a compressor and then another one and then another one and another one, just a bunch of little touches until it added up to this nice little bite. That is just a guess. There's a 95% chance I'm wrong about that.
Good and I betcha.
The whole editorial shtick. Yeah, that's what I appreciate about music videos like this is they got this concept and their styling reminded me of fun street style kind of like editorials. For those of you that don't know, I fashion modeled, and the word fashion means I did a lot of like editorial type shit more so than like e-commerce or commercial jobs where you be making that money. I mostly did jobs that were cool, but they didn't, they're not really known to pay that crazy compared to other jobs. So yeah, their looks really reminded me of kind of that cute street style editorial shit. And that was the concept of the music video with the way they ended it and the way they started it. And I see music video where people are just kind of like hanging out. There's no real concept. That's fun because you kind of get to see the artist. You have a visual accompaniment to the song. But when you see a whole concept like this, you know, just like a lot more went into it. One thing that I love to do on my YouTube channel is to look at studio recording, like behind the scenes type shit, because I learned a lot. I did some things, but I've only been in a few music studios in my life, and to see the process of other studios and even just how it's being done today, I just get such a kick out of that shit. And just looking for it on YouTube on another screen. I got like 4 screens at my battle station, but using my bottom left screen, I see Twice is more than a few recording behind the scenes type shit. That's really dope. They got ABCD, Chio doing Killing Me Good, Suyu doing Runaway, Nayeon doing Pop. I love that type shit. If you want to see me do them, let me know. I'd really be more than happy to. If not, I'll probably just do it on my own time. As far as Twice, they got to be huge for a reason because I don't even listen to K-pop like that, and I've definitely heard of them, and I've definitely seen Her Face. I thought they did everything the song needed. They do strike me as kind of like the well-rounded category of K-pop artists, but what they're elite in is like their marketability. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me and to educate me. It might just be the song. The song wasn't really asking them to do anything crazy. This was like a fun dance, retro type party song. Whoever's singing this part, I'm assuming it's her because she's in the middle of the screen. I really like the sound of her voice. She's got a cool voice to me. And everyone in general, very on point, very polished. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. We got a good haul in for Cyber Monday and all that. I hope something good happens to you today. Whatever you're going through, don't stop taking those baby steps. Don't look down, you heard. Peace.